many of you have saved a document? I have a warning. This is not Microsoft Office. The project that you're doing is never going to be saved by its own, okay? So please, every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, save it. Trust me, you could be finishing your beautiful project and boom, you have something with electricity and then you're going to start crying because you never save it. So the shortcut is Command S or Control S in case you are using a PC. So once you save it, let's continue. We have seen how we can use the line tool and the pen tool, but everything we have done is related with something that is called a stroke because it has different characteristics. So at the right side, you should have stroke. Usually is this one, the one that has the 3 lines. In case you don't have it, go to the top menu window and then select stroke. And this window is going to appear. Now, the stroke is important because it's going to define the characteristics of a line. For example, I'm going to select this one. We all know that it's a stroke. It has black color. It has no fill color. And this is going to define the stroke weight. You can select the number that you like. Usually the software gives you these numbers, but if you have a specific number that you want, maybe you like 21.3, you just have to double click it here, 21.3, press enter, and voila. Now, the thing that you have at the top menu is the same options that you have here, but here we have extras, okay? Now, please, I'm going to suggest you to pause the video, but while you are making the pause, please change the weight of all the lines that we have done. Try to meet all the ones that exist, the ones that are thinner, the ones that are thicker, so we can have a variation and a better understanding of how the tool works. So please pause it and change the weight. I'm going to do it right now. As you can see, it's really easy to change the weight. I'm going to use this one because it's terrible. And you'll see why for me it's important that you can understand that changing it is going to simplify your life. Okay, now let's focus on the window that we have on the right side. I'm going to use the triangle as an example. Remember that right now we're focusing on the stroke function or stroke tool. I'm going to select this one. Cap is going to define how the line is going to have the endings. For example, I'm going to get closer. It can be straight. It can be rounded. Let me share to you how it looks when it's rounded. Maybe in this one is not so easy to define it, but here it is. Here you can see the cap that is rounded. And the one that has an extension. You can see the extension. The difference between this one and the first one, please take a look to this. The point and the line starts in the same position, and here you have a small extension for it. Now, what else do we have? For something that is called a close already, we have something that is called corner. We have the pointy one, rounded, and the bevel join, okay? This is going to change. Let's see how it works here if I just have a line. I don't know if you're capable to see how this has become rounded or how it can become bevel, okay? What else do we have about stroke? We can work with something that is called dash line, okay? Now, the dash is the color, the gap is the space that separates it, okay? So you can make and place different numbers here, and the result is going to change depending on the numbers that you place. Right now I place 12, 5, 20, okay? You can even change the orientation of the dash line. Why this is important? Well, you'll see in the following video, but for now, this is important in case you want to work with the stroke. I was forgetting about something. Sometimes when you open the stroke, it's going to appear like this. Please do not panic. Remember that there are different options. At the corner, you just have to click show options. My bad, because automatically it opened for me because the software already knows how I use it. But if as you are a first time user, maybe it's a little bit harsh, right? So here is how you can solve it. Every time that you see less tools, just go to the corner, click it, and select show options. Now, everything that we have seen about stroke can be applied to this, and even to shapes. Now, let's focus on the first page. At the top menu, we have this function that is called uniform. Usually it's called for profile the line. It's the same thing that we have right here on the window at the right side. So please select all the ones that you have in the first page. We're going to change the weight. I'm going to place it maybe, let me see the number that I'm going to do. I'm going to place it in 10, number 10, yes, because I want you to figure out what we're going to be changing. I'm going to select the first one with the selection tool. I'm going to select this one, and this is still is a line, okay? It has a different way of presentation or a different profile, but it's still a line, okay? Now you may say, hey Brenda, how are we going to use it? Well, usually people prefer this tool when they're doing a drawing and they want to give some dynamics, you know, like to make it more dynamic and more attractive, visual appealing, most of all. Imagine that you're doing eyelashes, for example, like this one. I'm going to select this one, and here you have an eyelash. Or if you're going to do some wrinkles, you know, or maybe an eyebrow. Now, how do I know that these are lines? Well, let me tell you a secret. If you are on a Mac, please press Command Y. If you are on a PC, Control Y. This is going to tell you everything that you have. If it's a line, if it's a shape, it's going to be presented here. It's going to give you a preview of the project that you're doing. If you want to go back, press again Command Y, okay? So the profile is going to be more effective if you have a thicker line, okay? Because if you have a thin line, let me go back to one. Let me share to you the difference between this one and this one. You have to really get closer, you know, to say it. And there's no need to use it like that. So you can use it from the top menu, or you can use it from the one that we have on the window, okay? This could be applied to shapes, like the one that I closed. For example, I'm going to select this one. You're going to see the variation of the line, or maybe this one, okay? I'm going to do this on here, and I'm going to change the weight so you can see how it has different movements in the stroke. Okay, so what else do we have? We have something that is called brush. It's right here. Every time you see these 3 lines and 3 dots, it's telling you that there are extra things about the tool. If you click it, you're going to have these options. But what we're going to use is the Open Brush library. Depending on the one that you select, all of them are going to be saved on this space. I'm going to select right now the decorative scatter. Here, for example, there are some options of texture that you can apply to a specific line. For example, I'm going to apply squares, stars, hearts, even stars and circles. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. And the main reason is depending on the weight of the line, they don't care about it because they already have a specific defined preset for that brush style. Now, everything is going to be saved here, as you can see. If you don't like going here, Open Brush Library, another shortcut is by clicking on the left side down corner, right here. You're going to have all these options. For example, you can have, I don't know, you like watercolor. I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to give this texture. Depending on the color is the result that you're going to have. As watercolor in Spanish is acuarela, the result is going to be gray, okay? I can even select this one. You know, when you have like a dry brush, this is the result. So everything that you're using is going to be saved on this spot. Now, why this is important? Well, maybe you want to give a texture to something. And remember, this is a line, so it's really easy. You just have to use the ones that are already available. I'm going to select again, so you can see that there are different ones, arrows special. You can do some arrows as well. Okay, let me just change this one because I believe there are too many stars. And here you go. Now, depending on how is the path, this is going to be the result. But why this is important? Remember that if you made it wrong, it's not the end of the world because you can fix it and improve it. Now, I'm going to click this one with the direct selection tool. This is really bad, and this one is really bad. You know, the line looks tremble and like shaky. I can come here, use this one to make it smooth. Again, click the point, click the circle that appears, or if you remember, we can use the anchor point tool, click and hold, and you can do whatever you want with this, okay? Again, if something is not exactly perfect, don't leave it like that. You can still fix it, okay? You can move the handles and you can make it look better. Let me just move it here to make it look better, okay? Another way, and this is the last thing because I don't want to get desaturated. If you like these arrows, but you want to make your own, we have the option arrowheads. Here you can select how it's going to start and how it's going to end. Now, you may think like, híjole, Brenda, it doesn't look good. The reality is because the weight of the line is too heavy. But if I'm using 2 points, it's going to look better, right? Now, how about if you want to have this thicker line, but you know the arrowheads are too big? Let me undo this. Where it says scale, you can change the proportion of it. Right now, this is working for the one that is at the top, and this one is working for the one at the end, okay? If you click this one, both are going to be linked. So if you change one, the other one is going to be modified as well, okay? So this is how you can transform it. And the one that you have right here is the alignment that you're going to have. It's going to help you to change the position of the line considering the dash line and the arrowheads, okay? And if you decide to select this one, automatically the line is going to change the profile even though you have arrowheads, and that's why I am selecting it. So you can see that you can do whatever you want. You can have this variation from thicker to thinner. So see you in the next video to continue learning Adobe Illustrator. And don't forget to save.